Um, all right. For those of you who don't know me, but most of the names that I see are pretty familiar. My name's Charlie Van Derven. Been working with advisors since 1998. Crazy that yeah that dates me and ages me. That's wild. 1998. That seems like a long time ago. It seems like yesterday. Over the years, we did a lot of websites for advisors, a lot of social media. Um, I worked for FMG briefly, and then in 2013 was like, you know what, that canned content stuff, that's not really good for advisors. It's good for compliance. We'll talk more about that. And so Social Advisors was born in 2013 as at that point a content creation company for financial advisors. And it's taken lots of iterations over the last 11 years. Today, we still do a lot of content creation, a lot of marketing automation, CRM work, coaching. I coach a number of advisors, some of you who are here. So good to see you turn out. And then I act as an actual fractional CMO for some RIA firms as well. So everything marketing, everything business development, everything growth. So like I said, I've got a brief presentation put together for you. Derek, thank you for the, Derek loves my t-shirt. It's got my little logo on it there too. I've got a brief presentation for you. This is going to be really boring if you guys listen to me and that's it. So if you've got questions, by all means, put them in the chat. Use that Q&A if you want to. I don't mind stopping. This is very much, it's not like a super rehearsed presentation. I've built a quick PowerPoint for you, and I just want to share with you 3 or 4 of the tools that we use every day to build content for our clients that really are designed to help you save a whole bunch of time and create good content going into 2025. Now we are going to be using AI. And I see things on LinkedIn all the time. I've got friends here who are have some opposition to AI. We want to be efficient. If there's business tools that we can use to be efficient, we're going to do that. And so I'm going to show you how to create content that sounds like you and really reflects who you are and the content that you create. AI can be very boring and very run of the mill and very average unless you actually build it out for yourself. So we're going to go through the exercise. We're launching a new content client going into January. And not that we're going to do all the work while you guys are here, but we're going to start to build out a content client on ChatGPT. And then we'll do a little bit of Canva. I'm sure a lot of people use Canva now. It's such an awesome tool. And then we use for video production a platform called Vizard. And we'll dive into Vizard as well and show you just how easy it is to take your long form videos and cut them into clips for YouTube Shorts and Instagram and LinkedIn and other social media. So, okay, that's a long-winded introduction. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here, and we're just going to walk through a couple slides, a couple PowerPoint slides, real quick. And again, I'm a pretty casual guy, so I'm not worried about putting this into presentation mode. I didn't rehearse this a whole bunch before we got on here. So again, if you've got questions, you want to stop me for anything, by all means, hit that chat box and I'll stop and we can answer questions and kind of have a conversation. If it makes sense to allow you to talk, we can do that too. So, all right, today we're going to talk about training your AI and mastering content creation, getting you ready for an efficient content process for 2025. All these pictures are me, so we just have some fun with this, right? Here's my crew. This is my wife, Carmen. This is my child, Max, and then my daughter, Eden, here. So these are the people that keep me moving and entertain me every single day. So let's start with the business development process. We're really actually talking about the 3rd step of a 4-step business development process in our conversation today. Your 4-step business development process, has nothing to do with digital. This is before digital. This is, as far as I can see, the way it's going to be for a while too, maybe forever. Number 1, and this will make sense, you got to understand your ICP, your ideal client profile. Who is it that you're prospecting? Now, I know a lot of advisors who are afraid to really niche down. And I can understand that because you might have clients in a variety of places. There are just about or just over 700,000 registered entities, advisors in this country, between RIA or IARs, independent advisors, captive advisors. There's almost 700,000 registered. Get narrow, right? Don't be a run-of-the-mill advisor. Understand who it is that you serve, who you bring value to. And I promise you, once you do that, your marketing becomes a lot more powerful because you're speaking to a very specific audience instead of trying to be something to everybody. Now, your clients, your longstanding clients who may not fit the niche that you work in, um, that's they're going to be understanding, right? So if they see something on your LinkedIn profile that says that you work with medical professionals or professionals at this particular company and they don't fit those profiles, that's okay. That's why you have a relationship with these people. So don't be afraid to niche down. I know we're going to do our best not to alienate anybody in the process, but when you can concentrate your marketing, it's really more powerful. Now, continue to build your network and your brand. So this is a lot of local networking for many people, association networking for a lot of the clients that we work with. It's actually LinkedIn Sales Navigator, right? So I'll share my screen I'm going to stop share on the PowerPoint, and then we're going to jump into Sales Navigator. We'll do a quick search in Sales Navigator as well. We'll do a couple of searches real quick here. Okay, so Sales Navigator, is there anybody in here? Drop it in the chat if you haven't used Sales Navigator before. This is a very powerful tool. We've been talking to advisors about it for gosh, I think it came out in 2015 or 2016 maybe. So we've been talking to advisors about it kind of ad nauseum now for about 8 years. So Sales Navigator is an incredible tool. It's an upgrade of LinkedIn. And you haven't used it internally, Jennifer. I'll show you real quick. I know we're doing some work with Jim on it right now, but I'll show you real quick, just a quick little search, right? And Jennifer, maybe we'll use you guys because you're in St. Louis. So what this is a query tool that allows you to look for every single profile on LinkedIn. And let's say you work with medical professionals in St. Louis, right? So we can go St. Louis. Greater St. Louis. I'll just do a couple quick searches. Maybe we want to work at, well, let's do business owners. That's a quicker thing to pull up. So if we go to seniority level, St. Louis, owner partner, right? And then you typically, again, we're not going to go through all of this. I just want to give you a little flavor for what it's capable of. We can do things like remove financial services so that we're not prospecting other advisors. We can remove insurance as well. There's more details that go into this, but I want to show you what it's capable of. We're a business owner. Maybe we want to use some indicators to show more successful business owners. We can go by company headcount. Right. So maybe we just want to prospect businesses between 10 and 200 employees. Along those lines, we can prospect HR directors for 401ks and others. And maybe years in the current position, we'll go 10 or more. So in just a couple of minutes, we found business owners that have businesses of more than 10 employees, less than 200 in St. Louis or greater St. Louis that are owner partner of the business, excluding financial services. And if you look in the top right here, we've got 4,500 results, right? So LinkedIn is an awesome place to do that second step, right? To build that network of people every single day that as we get back to that PowerPoint. Sorry, Zoom makes me kind of jump around a little bit when I'm sharing screens. So continue to network and build your brand every single day. LinkedIn's going to let you send out 20 invitations a day. If you need help setting up a saved search on Sales Navigator, or you need help sending out invitations, we can help you out with that. So just hit me up in chat or send me an email after. Now, what we're going to talk about for the majority of our time today is nurture, right? So if we're building that large network, we have to stay present with that network. Social and email content makes that very easy to do. We're going to talk about the content marketing opportunity on LinkedIn, and then we're not going to dive into it today so much, but the fourth step is conversion. So you've got, who are you prospecting? How are you building a network and building your brand with those people? How do you nurture them with content? And then your fourth step is conversion. And the easiest way for advisors to convert is actually through events like webinars and seminars. And you can see this really didn't change. This is how it was before digital. This is how it is with digital, more webinars than seminars nowadays, more LinkedIn outreach than cold calling nowadays. But the steps are the exact same. Okay, moving on. Cool. All right. So content marketing gives you a competitive advantage. I want you guys to see this. So number one, we've all heard the know you, like you, trust you, right? And that's those are the requisites for landing a client in financial services. It's a high trust industry, of course. I'm giving you the obvious. Did you know that 82% of people feel more positive about a company or a professional after engaging with custom content? Now, again, we're going to talk a little bit about canned content versus custom content here in just a little while. What we're going to be showing you how to create is custom content for you, getting away from some of the canned content that this industry is so well known for. But yeah, so in building that trust, people who see your brand consistently, people who interact with your brand consistently, that trust grows. I like to use the Coca-Cola example. And of course, it's not in our industry, but Coca-Cola is the most recognizable brand on the planet. They are still going to dump $30 million into television advertising next month. They're still going to buy spots at the Super Bowl, right? So they understand that you've got to keep that brand present. So share content, social and email content doesn't cost you anything. And it's so easy to build a network now with LinkedIn of the right professionals, grab their email addresses, start to nurture them with email as well. So content is so important. On LinkedIn, here's some really interesting stats. There's over 500 million. This is stats from middle of this year. So over 500 million total users on LinkedIn. 250 million of them log in at least monthly. Only 3 million users share content consistently. And there's 9 billion impressions of content on LinkedIn every single week. Now, about a third of that occurs in North America. But so 3 billion content views being shared by just over 1% of that network. So now, again, we're going to talk about not all content is created equal. But that's a really big opportunity, right? So we've got 3 billion content views on LinkedIn, and just over 1% of the network is actually sharing content consistently. So saw something pop up here on the 1 second here. Zoom's giving me a little trouble, so we're not going to worry about that for the moment. All right, cool. All right, so here's the case for content marketing. Personal content is greater than canned content. There's a lot of canned content in financial services. I spent about a year and a half working with FMG. We've got at least one other person on this call that was with FMG for a while as well. Of course, there's other large companies that are, you got Broadridge and Forefield, Horse's Mouth. Horse's Mouth has some good content. Snappy Kraken's got some good content. Here's the problem, right? When you've got a company like, I don't want to pick on anybody in particular, but FMG is probably the oldest with that content library available to advisors. What do they have? I don't know. I'm guessing a little bit, but 50, 60, maybe 70,000 clients. I mean, it's a huge amount. Maybe that's 10% market share. And I can imagine it's that at least. So if you're using the same content that those, tens of thousands of other advisors are using, you're really not doing anything to build a brand. If you think about the structure of those companies, they're great companies. They got great models. But I'm going to share with you, as a former national account executive rep or whatever with FMG, we weren't selling content for advisors, right? We were selling content at the time for compliance. So if you think back to when that was, 2011, 2012, 2013, all of a sudden advisors wanted to be able to share content. Email was already fairly prominent, but social media was coming on quickly. And so if you talk to a compliance officer, their fear was, oh my gosh, if everybody wants to start writing blogs and posting to LinkedIn, I'm going to need to increase my payroll dramatically, right? So along comes a company that's got this library that's got FINRA approved content. And it's really easy for compliance to say, yes, let's use those guys. And now advisors, you're forced to use those guys. Now, of course, we've come a long way since then. So I don't know a single firm that you can't create your own content at this point. In fact, we create content for some of the most, strict compliance departments. We create content for some Merrill Lynch advisors, right? And that's a strict compliance environment. So I would imagine that I can't imagine that there's a compliance department out there that's saying, no, you have to use this canned stuff in the library. If there is, and you believe that to be the truth, I would reach out to a representative in compliance. But your personal content is so much better than the canned content, right? Sharing content is going to position you as an authority and an educator. So if financial advisors, and if we go back several, a couple of decades, stockbrokers, right? The brand around advisors wasn't great, right? Or around stockbrokers back in the day, was not necessarily looked upon favorably. And you've got some bad characters in the news from time to time. The industry has changed so dramatically, but a lot of that old bad taste about the profession exists, right? So you want to create a brand around authority and education rather than sales, right? And we come out of these big firms where sales is like the pinnacle of what you're expected to do. Your content should be educational. We want people to see you as an educator. That changes your brand entirely. It changes people's feeling about your brand, and creates a lot of authority. Uh, Content's going to allow you, as we talked about, that second step is to build your audience. That third step is to nurture that audience. Content allows you to nurture that audience and create some business growth. So promise you we're almost done with the deck here. Okay. Now I was just doing a little research, right? Actually, this was earlier today, just kind of getting things set up for this conversation. And I found this company called EXTU Marketing. Now, these numbers might be inflated a little bit because of course, they're selling marketing services, but they seem pretty realistic. And I kind of, I only shared the ones where I really thought that it seemed pretty realistic. But if you look at this, their estimation is that you're planning and researching content 1 to 2 hours per week. Give me a second here. We got somebody in the chat. Good stuff. Cute dog. Yeah, that's Shark. And in fact, then he's around here somewhere too. The dogs and cats are in here with me. But if you look at that, this is, 4 to 6 hours per week for copywriting and content curation. That's probably pretty accurate. Video creation, 2 to 3 hours per week. I think they were being generous with that. I know a lot of people that want to create a couple of videos a week, and they might do 10 takes before they're happy with something. And then, of course, that needs to be produced, whether you're outsourcing that or you're doing that internally. Graphics and media production, 2 to 4 hours per week, landing page creation, email setup, content scheduling. This doesn't even speak to the amount of time it takes to communicate with compliance to get all that stuff approved for sharing. Doesn't talk about, lead management, doesn't talk about CRM. Suffice it to say, content creation and marketing takes a heck of a lot of time. And so that is a great segue into the 3 technologies. I'm going to share a 4th technology with you, but the 3 technologies we're going to concentrate some time on here are ChatGPT, Canva, and Vizard. Now, we're doing a live demo, right? So we hope that, it's sunshiny out, so it doesn't look like any weather's going to affect us, but, we hope there's no issues with a live demo. So be patient with me, because I'm literally going into my download folder and going to be uploading different documents to ChatGPT and to Canva. And so I hope not to stumble through it too much, but be patient with me. So any questions so far? Just saw something pop in the Q&A. I love it when I see questions, because you know what? It allows me to not monologue as much. Yes, anonymous attendee. What an interesting name you've got. You will get a copy of slides and a follow-up email. Yeah. So we'll get a recording out probably tomorrow morning for you. So, all right, very good. So we looked at LinkedIn Sales Navigator. This is an awesome tool. If you guys are not using Sales Navigator for prospecting, you should be. I would say for me, it is second only to my CRM as a value tool for the prospecting process. So by all means, use Sales Navigator. I think it's a $99 a month upgrade. If you pay for the year, it's 79. Um, Derek. Derek loves the laid back approach. I can only be me, Derek. Can't be anybody else. So um, it comes off as not so polished, but hopefully it's a little more entertaining that way, where I'm not in here just going through the motions. So what we're looking at is ChatGPT. Is there anybody in here who's not playing with ChatGPT yet? I mean, this is kind of a prominent tool launched actually November 30th of 2022. We were experimenting with it probably January of 2023. This is a tool that I use every single day. It's awesome for brainstorming. It's great for writing, but I never let it represent me. You still got to put your flair to it. And you can see on the left-hand side here, these are custom GPTs that we build to build content for clients of ours. So um, if I'm gonna so what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna build a custom GPT while we're talking. Now, I'm not gonna build the whole thing because that takes about probably a half hour, 45 minutes. And who we're gonna build it for is my good friend Susan Danzig. So if you notice what I did, I'm going to back out of that because I moved through it really, really quickly. All I did was click here under my, little icon here and go to my GPTs and then create a custom GPT, right? Now, let me note also, you do have to have GPT-4. Costs $20 a month. It's worth every penny, in my opinion, but you do need GPT-4 to be able to create these custom GPTs. Now, all we're going to do is tell chat what we want it to do. So we're going to say we're creating a GPT assistant for Susan Danzig. Coach to financial professionals. The GPT will be used. This is the boring part of the presentation. Okay, cool. Now chat's going to ask us a couple questions. So that's just a little bit to get us moving there. It's going to update. We'll do this for 5 minutes, you guys. So I'm not gonna drag you through the entire process, but I want to just get started with this, and then I'll come back and finish this up later because I'll actually use this GPT. Okay, great. How about marketing content coach? Let's give it a name. So it's got Susan's name in it. Hey, Derek, thanks for being here, man. I'll get you, Derek's exiting. I'll get you recording tomorrow. So now it's going to generate its own picture, but I'm going to tell it I will attach a picture. And you can give it a brand. So we'll go to upload from computer. And then we'll use this one here. So that take a second to load. There we go. So give Susan her brand. Now, what I'm going to show you, which I've already downloaded, but wonderful. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do with this GPT is the first step in that business development process is identifying your ideal client profile, right? Your ICP, understanding who it is that you prospect. So for each of our content clients, and this is a product that we sell, we'll talk more about that at the end here. For each of our content clients, this is we build what's called the perfect client playbook. And so I'll go through this slowly. It's a big document. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But essentially, Susan works with advisors that want to increase AUM with strategic marketing and business development coaching. Their tipping point, their decision making is when they get stagnant, AUM growth and demand strategic marketing, right? And so what I'm going to do is just go through here, demographics, right? We go through and outline all of this for Susan's perfect client, psychographics, their professional profile, right? So if you don't know who it is that you want to talk to, it's really hard to create content for them. So their consumer behavior, their media consumption, right? So what we want to do is take all this information that we compiled last week in preparation for our call today, and as a standalone, this doesn't do a whole lot for you, right? But when we're training a bot to sound like Susan and understand exactly who it is that she's speaking to, Susan's ideal client, right? And I've got this in, downloaded that document. So I think, oh, there it is. So we'll give this a second to load. That's a pretty big doc. And so this is the process, you guys. It's not difficult, right? Again, you've got to upgrade, right? Now, the next thing that I might do, so now we're teaching the GPT to understand who it is that we're creating content for. And then the next thing we want to do is actually upload a couple of blogs. And I would upload, as part of this process, I'd upload 50 blogs if I had it available to me. I'd upload 50, 50 different social media posts if I had it available to me. So I'm just going to copy and paste one blog, and I'll finish this up later because I want to get onto the other tools. And I talk a lot. It's already 2:30. How did that happen so quickly? If you guys have questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the Q&A. I do. Everybody seems to have stuck around so far, but I do feel like I'm talking to a wall a little bit. But that's okay. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to get some tone. I want to start uploading content that Susan's written, right? So all I'll do is copy and paste here, right? I'm just going to copy and paste every bit of this, and we'll just do one of these, and then we'll move on to the next tool. Oh. Okay. Right. Okay, and I saw a Q&A pop in there, so let's see. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Sorry about that. All right, we got 4 Q&A. Awesome. Mine says error when I use the same prompt. Have you encountered this? I have. This is from Anonymous. Yes. So here's what I would do. So when we're working with technology, sometimes it's not going to work, and I have it oftentimes where I've got to go back and when it says error, I will stop, because it's likely that anything I do for the next 10 or 15 minutes is going to be lost. So I would pause 5 minutes, come back and refresh is what I do. Are you able to upload videos or just links? Well, actually, I'm just uploading written content here. We're actually going to use, so you can upload, I would recommend upload video transcripts. So if you can get transcripts off of YouTube, you get transcripts off of fireflies.ai. We're going to look at Vizard here in just a little bit. You can get transcripts there. But what I would do is I would upload video transcripts. David Rosenthal, good to see you. Do I have a step-by-step video of how to create this GPT voice? David, I'll send you this recording. But yeah, we could also, on our next call, we could jump in a Loom together. Or we could jump into GPT together. I can create a Loom video for you. And then Errol, do you go through this exercise with your advisor clients you guys market for? Meaning create the ideal client profile you showed and then build out. That's exactly right, Errol. So we for every one of our content clients, we create this custom GPT. We want to match their voice as closely as possible. And unfortunately, AI is better at doing it than writers. And it's much more efficient. Writers come and writers go. When we were hiring a lot of writers to create content on our behalf, it was like a revolving door. Honestly, it was a very difficult thing to do because we'd match a writer with a client and they'd be around for 4 or 5 months and then something would change in life and they'd be gone and then we'd be training a new writer. So, it was I think it was the nature of freelance, right? So, this is actually so much more consistent. And I see often, like on LinkedIn, oh, AI can't match your tone. AI is generic, just people complaining about AI. If you go through this exercise, and we've just taken 5 minutes to do it, if you load a whole bunch of content into this so that it can get tone and you can train it over weeks and months and years, it really does continue to get better and better and better and better. And Daniel, you just asked that question. Do we continually upload more content over time? Absolutely, 100%. Every piece of content that we create further trains the bot. Yeah. So where do we upload it? You can come right back. So once we're done with the setup, if we use this bot to create content for Susan, we can come back and customize this particular GPT assistant at any time. So it'll write content. We'll refine that content, then we'll feed it back to the GPT. Now, once this is done, and I'm just going to create this and we'll come back and customize it later. I mean, it's not just about writing content, it's about brainstorming. It's about, we can very quickly, I can tell chat to, write me a 12-month editorial based on topics that Susan's clients would want to see, right? So, got to hit save on here. And then you can actually share this with others, right? So if you've got one, you can share the link with others. So if we jump back in, I'll use mine for example. I can say, write a 12-month editorial. I tell it what to include. Okay, so I read a 12-month editorial calendar starting with January 25, ending December 25, include one blog post, blah, 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 blah. Format it so I can copy and paste it to Excel. And as soon as we get done with this, we'll jump off of GPT and we'll get into Canva. But you can see right here, right? So now these are all suggestions, right? I'm not going to take this and copy and paste it. I'll copy and paste it, but then obviously I'm going to go in and tailor it and make sure that it fits exactly what I want it to say. But what a wonderful option to brainstorm these 12 ideas, right? So, okay, very cool. Do we have any Canva users in here? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you use Canva. Yeah, we got some thumbs up. Very cool. Melissa does. Rose, yeah. So um, you guys, Canva's awesome. The PowerPoint that I was just showing a little while ago, that's a Canva template, right? So it used to be that when we needed to create designs for ourselves and for our clients, we had to pay a designer. And Canva removes the requirement for that, right? So we can search any template. The professional PowerPoint, right? And a lot of these are already branded, right? Because we've created a lot of them, but here's all of our blank PowerPoints that we can start from. Right? I should say slide decks because we can use it on other things in PowerPoint, right? And if you pick one that you like, it gives you suggestions on others that are like that. And there are hundreds of these things. And you can see exactly what the interior pages look like, right? So it's got some great design elements to it. You can choose pages, you can drag and drop them from one to the other. So let's use this template, shall we? Um, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use we've been working with Susan for a long time, but we're just starting to create content for Susan. So we're actually going to build out Susan's brand in Canva as well. Okay, so if we go to, taking a second to load, pardon me, the dangers of working live. Oftentimes a cat will walk across here. I got a zoo down here. I got two dogs and two cats down here, but oftentimes you'll see a cattail walk right in front of me. Okay, so we can take a blank template, blank canvas like this. We can go to our brand section here. You can see the last client that I was working on here. We can go to see all. And then where in the world I want to add one? And usually, there we go. All right. I don't know if like function changed or if I just had a brain fog. Give me a second here. Now I've got to now I've got to navigate it. That's embarrassing. I was just going to build out. I've built out dozens of these brand kits. That's very embarrassing. My apologies for that. Let's go back. I'm going to go back to the homepage of Canva, and maybe we need to build it out before we dive into the template. There we go. All right. So you got to stumble around for a little bit sometimes. Thank you for your patience. So we'll go Susan Danzig, create. And what we can do is just upload logos. I'm moving faster than the computer is. Right. So we can upload Susan's logos. I believe we'll be able to use the pen point to add her colors. So just like that, add a new one. That, and then we'll also add white. Are probably gray. There we go. All right, there we go. So add Susan's colors. And then I know that I kept this open because she uses a couple of different fonts here. Quattrocento and Arial are Susan's two fonts. Subtitle will add Quattro Centro. There we go. Very cool. Okay, so we'll save those. And then we can add a brand voice. We will upload photos. I'll take care of all that later, graphics and icons. So I think we're good to go. I don't want to click out of here until I know. All right. Very good. Making sure there's, okay, very cool. So now what we'll do is I'm going to refresh this page just because hopefully Susan's brand loads while we do that. And we won't spend a whole lot of time on this. I want to get on to Vizard, which I think is a great tool. I really believe that for most advisors, your four most important marketing platforms are email, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, including YouTube Shorts. So giving you a good video tool to use is important as well. So now Susan should show up here, unless I missed a save button. There we go. Very good. So all I have to do to change the colorways on this is literally just hit this shuffle bar, right? And then all of these are absolutely clickable. Change it to what you need. You know, I can grab Susan's logo, looking for a good one here to be able to drop in. Oh, that's a little much. That's a little much, but you know, we can shrink it down. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about how great the design looks, but I want you to be able to see the tools that we're using. So we can apply to all pages. So it takes care of the entire deck. And then, so very simple to update these things. Now I'll just give you an idea of how that works. I'm going to click out and go back to the home page and just show you what some of these awesome templates are, right? Like newsletter. So you've got all kinds of newsletter templates to choose from. LinkedIn post. All kinds of LinkedIn post templates to choose from. Video intro. So they've actually got video on here as well. Right. So you can drop your own logo in there. Video outro. Right. So you can choose your outros. All the stuff that you see at the end of a YouTube that says, you know, subscribe and like and all that stuff. That's all built for you already. Anyway, so I mean, you get the point here, right? All of your templated designs for creating your own personal custom stuff is already done, right? Now, so if you've got questions about Canva, again, we're kind of bumping up against the hour here. It's about 1:45. If you got questions about Canva, hit me up. I am more than happy to take a call afterwards or answer email or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so simple to create this stuff. Now we're jumping into Vizard, and I took the liberty of uploading a video. I've got content to create for my buddy Carmine here, but I took the liberty of uploading a video because it takes a little while. 48-minute video, I think it was. So it was a big file to upload. So this is the video that I uploaded. Now keep in mind for Instagram, like try to keep it 45 a minute or less. You can upload a long video on Instagram. For YouTube, I think 60 seconds is the limit for YouTube Shorts. Obviously, your full-length YouTube videos, you can upload any length you want to. But as you're cutting clips, and that's what Vizard is designed to do. Now, you can get AI clips. I don't recommend it. Believe me, I wrestled with it for a long time. So Vizard has an AI that will allow you to, the AI is going to cut clips for you, but it's not very polished yet. So I do manual clips. And what's cool is you don't have to watch the video over and over and over and over to find your clips. We'll give it a second to load here. So editing it from the transcript is so much easier than trying to clip out of videos. So all I do is read the transcript. So we'll just find a quick little clip to make. How important follow-up is for over the years. Yeah, I actually watched this video earlier, and this is actually a really great clip. So we'll go down to here. We'll go to there now. Sorry about that. Takes a little precision, but all I do is create clip. All right, we can name that clip. You can format that clip. So if you're creating it for Instagram, if you're creating it for YouTube, creating it for LinkedIn, you've got different formats. So we'll create this in 16:9 as though we're going to upload it to YouTube Shorts. Going to take a second, then I can view that clip. I hope I'm not putting everybody to sleep. Cassie, thanks for being here. I will get your recording off tomorrow. And then the other thing we can do, I haven't created an outro for Carmine yet, but we can add an outro to it. So I'll drop in, I'll drop in a different outro, but. So I'm not going to worry about polishing this too much, but we can go in and we can remove like these 1.4 second pauses. If anything is misspelled, I'll play it for just a little bit here.
This guy does things a bit different. And Anthony had talked about doing a financial plan for this client that client did not have.
It automatically adds the transcript. So if there's any misspellings, and sometimes that happens, right? If it's on a name or something like that, but you can cut different bits of the transcript out, and it's automatically going to adjust the video. So for example, let's say I don't want to say over 4, right? So I can delete this. We'll play it from the top, and it's going to play it.
For years, Anthony's been following up with a specific client. Turns out he was working with another advisor and didn't want to sever that relationship.
So you get the idea there. Now, here's what's cool. We're going to export it. This is going to take us just a few moments as it processes the video. Depending on your compliance requirements, probably none of you can do this, but you can actually hook your social profiles right up to this, and you can post directly from here. And then you can use this to create a post for whatever platform you want, right? So if we hit LinkedIn, now that GPT assistant that we built in chat is much, much better at writing a post than what this is. So what I would typically do is I would copy this post while the video is processing. I'd copy this post and I'd bring it over to GPT, and I'd use the GPT assistant to rewrite that post. Right. So I'm not going to rely on Vizard to have the voice, because I'm really building the voice out in GPT. So it's pretty awesome. It's easy, you guys. It's easy. It takes a little time, right? It takes a little dedication, but it's so much easier than it was 6 months ago even. Okay. So the last thing I want to show you, the last resource I want to show you is Postparty. So this is a software that we actually partner. There's 6 partners on this piece of software called Postparty. And here's what this is. It's $99 a month. It's really awesome. If you're leaning into if you're leaning into content marketing, Postparty is a really great tool. Here's how it works. We run 8 post parties a week. And they're like 7, noon, and 3 Eastern time Monday and Wednesday, and then 7 to noon on Friday. And so you post and you share the link to your post, your LinkedIn post, into Postparty, and you're guaranteed 15 interactions on that content within the first hour and a half after you post. So what this is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a hack. I mean, it's a hack. It's simply put, it's a hack. And what we're trying to do is lean into the LinkedIn algorithm to get more exposure for content. And so the reality is, if you put a post out there that would on average get, say, 300 views, it's very likely you're going to get 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 views on that post just by running it through Postparty. And you're working in a community. People are commenting on your content, and you're commenting on other people's content that are part of this community. Everybody's working together. All boats float, or something like that. And so Postparty is a really great tool, and it's very efficient to get a heck of a lot of exposure on LinkedIn. So socialpostparty.com is the website you want to go to learn more about it. And again, I'm available for, calls or emails or whatever, if you've got some questions about it. But Postparty is a really great tool. I know we've got some people on here. Mark Ellswig uses it a lot. And there are some other names that I saw early on that, that are involved in Postparty on a consistent basis. So anyway, those are the 4 tools, you guys. We've got your custom chat GPT. You've got Canva for creating your media. You've got Vizard for creating your video clips, and you can do full video production on here as well, post-production. And then Postparty, once you pull all that content together, Postparty puts some rocket fuel on the exposure of that content for you. So I'll tell you what, I didn't think that'd take an hour, but it did. We got several Q&As. Oh, those were all that I'd spoken to already. So let me know if there's any other questions. And then I'll, for formality's sake, I'll share the last photo in the, I think this is my favorite photo. I don't know if you guys caught all this, right? We'll go through so we got, kind of professional, got some family stuff. I was younger in this. I could jump much higher. This is the one that really shows how hard I work. And this is me partying with the dog. And this is me sledding. And this is me saying thank you. So I want to thank everybody who showed up today. Again, we've got a couple minutes left. So if you do have any questions, please, by all means, put them in the chat. Sorry if it was a little, it was a little slow moving, right? You start doing that stuff live, and you don't really think about how much time it takes to move from screen to screen. But I sure hope that you like the kind of casual nature. That's who I am. I can only be me, but I'm not casual about the work that we do for our clients. So if you've got any needs for marketing automation, CRM, content creation, we are here to help out. Errol, that is an old fashioned I was drinking that a pitcher. I'm originally from Wisconsin, man. That is a whiskey old fashioned sweet. And if you come from Wisconsin, you've got to order it either whiskey or brandy, sweet or sour, right? David Rosenthal, wasn't slow moving. Thank you, man, for that feedback. There's a lot to digest. Get my arms around. It's a good thing we have a direct line, David. I'll help you digest it, man. I do this stuff every day. So, but there is a lot there for sure. So, thank you, everybody. I certainly appreciate it. Errol in Michigan. Yeah, we like our Michigan neighbors too. Maybe when it comes to the NFC Championship game and the Packers have to play the Lions, that might be a different day. But mostly I like my Michigan neighbors for sure. All right. Awesome. So I'm a resource to every one of you. Rose, I'm a resource. And yes, that video tool is very cool. And there are others out there. I'm actually researching a tool right now that will be able to create videos of me. I can prompt it with my mannerisms and my voice and give it a script, and it'll use my voice and my mannerisms to create an AI video that looks like I made it. This stuff's just getting easier and easier. I love it. So if you guys have any questions, I'm a resource to every single one of you. So by all means, hit me up. I'm a friend of the industry, a friend to advisors, and I'd love to do some business together too. But if we don't get to that, that's okay, as long as I'm making you better. Have an awesome day. Let me know if I can help you out with anything.